Oprah Winfrey said that? All my life. In The Color Purple. I'll never be able to say it as good as she said it. Seriously though, I feel as though I felt this last night. I got home and I said, let me do a live as I, unwind and get ready to prepare myself for sleep. So now I'm just getting up after that. It's almost 1 p.m. This is like my morning after I get up, before I get ready, go back and home and get ready for work. And I did my live last night, and I was thinking, I talked about two things. One is the shutdown, and am I gonna get a paycheck? Somebody living paycheck to paycheck, is she gonna get a paycheck? And then I was thinking about, I talked about something else. It was another topic. But between that time and now, yes, actually it was last night, I thought about just the way the world is going now, and how everything is like bam, 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 not a dull moment. Just like in certain workplace environments, it's like never a dull moment. Or growing up in New York, I would always hear the saying, only in New York. Only in New York. You walk down the street, you see something crazy, and you see somebody doing something crazy, something happening just like blows your mind, and you just smile or you just shake your head, and the only thing you can do is SMA, shake my head. And the statement was always, only in New York. Only in New York. So as I'm saying this now, the thought came across my mind, as fast as life is going, feels like thing after thing after thing. I mean, things are bound to happen. Things are going to happen. And it's the time and season for things and occurrences and situations to happen. Some are bad, some are good, some are ugly. But I know, I hear you. I know. And I heard it before, and I keep hearing it, that there's no such thing as the good, the bad, the ugly. And I totally agree with you. But for my brain and how I process it, I'm going to say the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as I think about that, I'm like, I feel like my whole life, I look at it, all these situations, all these things that are happening are just coming to life with an explanation, with a purpose, with something to it, right? I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, it made me think one part about, at one time in my life, before I started like really looking at myself, self-reflecting instead of pointing my head, this because of you and only this person, that person, this situation, that situation, life this and life that, and picking up everything from everybody and then trying to formulate it into who I am. And at one point, through my workplace, my work ethic, me being working for the man, working as people say a slave, the only thing I knew was to work. The brain couldn't process anything else except for get a job, go work, And the only thing I can process out of it is what type of job did I want, what made me feel good. I don't know. And then it came across my head last night, and I was like, the book you was going to write, it's just coming to life right now. It's just coming to life right now. The first book I was going to write, I have not written anything. I've come to the conclusion. Well, I gathered more understanding during my journey. My journey started with along my journey. I can't say it started with it, ended with it, was in the middle with why. And through my work, me being in the workplace for so many years, all my life pretty much, I've always, the question why never left me. Why are people this way? Why do people do this? Why do people do that? And then I had started writing my book. I got quite a bit of it done, but something always nagged at me to don't do it, because I think I would have put a lot of anger in it, and not only anger from my perspective at how I think people should be, because if people are going to be why, and in my eyes, who am I, right? We're gonna have, like I think, the good, the bad, the ugly. And so when Dr. Ramani came out, it's two people that came out with a book, but definitely Dr. Ramani, because I was on my journey and was learning about narcissism, and I was at the end of my journey, but I don't think you can ever stop learning about that stuff. Let me get my coffee. Just because people annoy me on the streets, I wonder why my mind doesn't go to automatic take them out and watch their last breath. I mean, for me, only can talk about me. Looking at there's different personalities and behaviors in various different types of homeless people. And just because some are have more erratic behavior than others, some approach people the way they're not supposed to approach people more than others. But that still doesn't, even though it annoys me, especially if they approach me, most of the time they listen when I say no, not today, or no, That's a no-no. They respect and they listen. Depending on what location I'm in, depending on, whatever. But for the most part, it's okay. But not one time. I wonder why or how is my thinking or brain pattern is so different than some of the other people. Like, different than those that just automatically want them gone, extinguished, exterminated, or there was a word I saw that was used and I was like, oh my God. And you get paid as a professional. Yeah. So what I was saying, I did not make the book and had the desire to continue it. I just wanted to continue my videos and do my life that way. For now. And because that was like the icing on the cake for me when Dr. Romney wrote the book, It's Not You. You know? And of course I read front to back. I was wishing I was on a beach somewhere reading that book, because it was really very emotional for me because of the things I have went through in my life and things that I can relate to. And like, she's not just a doctor that took classes and read courses. She got involved and, you know, went through some stuff herself and understood her clients in detail, not like some fake shit, like, you know, not like some I'm gonna tell you something, not like some doctors that, you know, they have the stethoscope right here. You know, you walk around all day, you have the stethoscope right here, then you get in the room and you're like, you take the stethoscope and you go, all right, now let me listen to your heart. And they're listening. But the stethoscope is not in the ears, it's still around the neck. And they go, I got that beat, the beat, but the ears are right here. No, she ain't that kind of doctor. Oh my goodness. You could tell. You can listen to people, you can read, you can, you know, when you know, you know. But, stuff be happening. Stuff just be happening. And so it just put the icing on my cake, on the cake, and was like, wow, this is what it is. And the way she explained it and the different personalities, it's not just about color, it's not just about someone's title, it's not just about, you know, my religion better than your religion. It's not just about just all these things. Like, man. And when I was going through that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write a book about this shit. I've been saying that since before I was 13 years old. Definitely when I hit 13 years old, I was saying. And then I get in the work environment, I'm still saying the same shit. Like, what is that gonna do? to write a book for me. You know, eventually that's how I'm thinking, looking back at myself like, what the hell was that gonna do? Who am I? Was I threatening somebody? I think I was threatening people, thinking I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna expose it all. Is that gonna make them stop doing what they're doing? Oh my goodness, I had a lot to learn. Radical acceptance, radically learn this thing called life. Anyway, so that's where I am right now about that. But I didn't get much sleep, but guess what? I look tired, but I don't feel tired. And I woke up early after about less than 4 hours of sleep. It was like at 3 something. And I didn't see a long video of the soldiers, the generals, all different stars, countries, I guess, all over the world, in uniform. And to watch them and look at their faces in the audience. Three or 4 o'clock in the morning, right after that, something hit me. As a retired military spouse who traveled quite a bit, has worked several VA hospitals, veterans hospitals, have worked several Army hospitals. PCS moves the whole 9. Husband have 4 combat tours, has 4 combat tours under his belt. Batshit crazy. I'm batshit crazy. And I just look. And this is my introduction. My response. Enjoy.
See, that's what really happens, just like in the book by Gavin de Becker, The Gift of Fear. When you in the workplace and you constantly let the bad apples continue to be bad and get away with treating, you watch them treat other people bad. You watch them do bad work on performing good work over and over and over again because they make you laugh. Because you may be intimate with them outside of the workplace. Because they may be a family member that nobody knows they are to you outside of the workplace. Or they could be someone that does drugs with you, hang out with you, go to the bar with you, get drunk with you. So you let them get away with bad behaviors over and over and over and over and over and over again. Until now it's hard. It's getting hard to stand up to them. They have made their place in the workplace as superior, as someone that everyone becomes fearful to approach because of their bullying tactics, because of the people that they have lured in. Whether it's quality management, whether it's the directors of a hospital, say for example, in a large hospital workplace environment, or things of that nature. And so it becomes extremely difficult to discipline them. Now it becomes dangerous. It's not only difficult to discipline them, because now as you learn about narcissistic, sociopath, psychopath behaviors, it becomes a danger to everyone that around that person, that employee, that co-worker. It becomes a danger to society and everyone that's around that person that tried for anyone to try to come in and make change and hold them accountable for the things that they do over and over again. That is bad. That is harmful to co-workers that work side by side with them, that does a hell of a lot more work, which is documented by numbers. A hell of a lot more work than the difficult bad employee, that bad employee only lies and have their flying monkeys to go against anyone that looks as a threat to them. You know they go against and have their flying monkeys attack anyone that does better work than them. And they are constantly head on a swivel with paranoia for anyone, and that's coming against them, to try to stop them. And
if they notice that you know who they are, when they try to constantly flip the script and have you confused that they are one of the real nice ones, because they throw you off with keeping you laughing. You know, by laughing at other people, which is something that everyone does. But we don't understand at the time that they do it in a vindictive, controlling, manipulative manner, that they really don't have feelings for those that they harm. And it becomes difficult too when they become very disgruntled and angry and had that revenge. Revengeful tactics wanting to use against you if you try to approach them. It's like it's always everybody else's fault, but not theirs, that they're the king. They're the queen of the environment and they could never do any wrong. It's always someone else. Even if you look through charting, even if you show the policies and procedures that are not being found or placed, they'll find a way to make it someone else's heart. Even when you point all the evidence that shows against what they're doing, that shows the harm that they are doing towards other people, whether it be patients, their own co-workers, it becomes very, very dangerous to now approach these people, because you know they can flip in a psychotic mode. They can flip in a destructive mode, and now you just want to stay away from them and not approach them. And let it ride, and let it ride, and let it ride. And that is some of the most dangerous things that I have seen from my experience, my perspective, and I read about it in The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. When we let it go on for so long without collectively approaching and addressing, without fear, without anger, without intimidation, right of speech, a powerful speech, a meaningful speech, without using control, manipulation, trying to make somebody do what I think they should be doing as far as approaching these type of people. But just something to think about and find creative ways. And maybe, I don't know, what are some ways that Gavin de Becker in The Gift of Fear expresses to use, or anything from science-backed research or behavior, research that has worked in the past, or something that can be constructive that will work in the future to help get these people out, or even place them in different departments. I'm letting them know that they too are not against the firing range to be touched as they may think they are, or think they secure their spot to be.
Persistent tolerance of destructive workplace behavior enables dangerous individuals to entrench themselves in positions of power, making change and accountability both difficult and risky for everyone. Drawing on insights from Gavin de Becker's The Gift of Fear and Behavioral Research, here are key ideas, science-backed strategies, and a speech to thoughtfully address these challenges. What Gavin de Becker teaches. Gavin de Becker emphasizes the importance of trusting intuition and recognizing manipulative, threatening, or bullying behavior without minimizing the danger just because the perpetrator is popular or provides comic relief. He advises against ignoring warning signs, especially when the same individual repeatedly demonstrates harmful conduct. In workplace settings, de Becker underscores that fear, when properly understood, can guide leaders and co-workers away from complacency, prompting a proactive response to threats before escalation. Scientific and research-based interventions. Research on workplace narcissism and bullying shows the need for collective action and clear boundaries rather than isolated confrontation. Consistent application of documented policies, fair workload tracking, and reported incidents can help mitigate bias or favoritism. Behavioral science recommends forming alliances with respected colleagues and management to ensure no one is left isolated against toxic individuals. Data-driven evidence of performance reinforces accountability. Pairing objective documentation with computational HR processes protects whistleblower when direct confrontation is unsafe. Anonymous reporting, peer support networks, and transfer recommendations are constructive alternatives backed by organizational psychology. Creative speech for collective action. There comes a time in every workplace, in every community, when silence feeds the very behaviors that divide and endanger us. We may laugh with those who trouble us, convince ourselves that their harm is harmless or that their words and actions are just part of the job, yet the reality's stark by ignoring the problem. We make room for it to grow.
The lesson, both in life and in Gavin de Becker's The Gift of Fear, is this: your sense of discomfort, that nagging voice, is not weakness, it's wisdom. It is the proof that something is wrong to those who rise by stepping on others. Let this be clear: no one is untouchable. No one's laughter, friendship, or private ties outweigh our collective safety or dignity. Individually, fear makes us freeze together. Fear teaches us where change must begin. It is not anger, revenge, or control that will heal us, but steady action, transparent, documented, supported by policy and principle. We stand, not to punish, but to restore. We speak, not to shame, but to protect. We act so that tomorrow's laughter is honest and mutual respect is the rule, not the exception. For those who believe themselves above consequence, remember, we all answer the truth. True strength is not in how many you silence, but in how many you uplift. Let's build the workplace where dignity rules, not intimidation. Let us be the example, the beginning, and the safeguard. Constructive solutions for the future. Implement clear, consistently enforce standards for behavior and performance reviewed independently of personal relationships. Encourage reporting and documentation of concerning incidents with safeguards in place for those who speak up. Rotate staff or consider transferring problematic individuals as needed, based on patterns of misconduct, not rumors or popularity. Foster a culture of collective accountability where leadership and frontline staff share responsibility for addressing threats. These approaches, supported by de Becker's analysis and behavioral research, empower teams to restore safety, trust, and productivity without resorting to manipulation or fear. Another thing in leadership, I noticed that it's not only I'm going to use the phrase, just someone on the lower pole told him. I forget how to say that on just someone on the, I'm just a person on the lower pole totems. I forget how to say it, but it seems like not just the small people will say, this is how things have always been done. No, not so much that part, but the part is, say for example, if management always come to you and they want answers. Why did this happen? Why was this Jasper written? What exactly happened in these situations? And then sometimes you ask questions that surrounds incidents, not in that particular Jasper report, but you ask questions and the answer is the same as the little people, everyday people that work, that deals with actual people rather than just the numbers coming in, right? And then they say, well, that's not your job. But then when something happens, it is always your job because you are expected to know what goes on, what happened. They don't expect those that are investigating the situation, whether it be quality management or whatever, to look deep into it and find out who are the proper people to investigate, to find liars and true answers. But they want you, the one that they say that's not your job. You must at this point give an answer to and find and do the research and find exactly what happened and why did it happen. The who, what, when, why, how, where, who. Sometime you can give your 2 cents with possible solutions. But overall, if a situation comes up, whether they know how to answer it or not, whether they choose to take the time to explain or not, any questions involving anything, either the norm, the easy answer, it's not your job. But turn around and flip that to, I need answers. I need answers now.
Leadership inconsistencies often place frontline staff in a double bind, being told that's not your job until a crisis hits, then suddenly holding them responsible for all the answers, regardless of their official role or authority. This contradictory alarmingly undermines both morale and effective problem solving in organizations. Leadership contradictions. Staff are frequently discouraged from asking broader or systemic questions with responses like, that's not your job, which limits transparency and initiative. However, when incidents or compliance issues arise, such as Jasper reports or adverse events, those same staff become the first line of inquiry, pressured for immediate, detailed explanations, even beyond their direct responsibilities. This inconsistency is demoralizing, creating confusion about role boundaries and accountability, while enabling management to deflect deeper institutional problems. Effects on workplace culture. Constantly shifting expectations erode trust between leadership and frontline teams, often perpetuating blame cultures rather than learning environments. When the chain of accountability only tightens during problems, staff feel unsupported and undervalued, leading to burnout and disengagement. Organizational research shows that effective leaders clarify responsibilities, encourage upward feedback, and hold themselves accountable to the same standards as line staff, rather than only seeking answers when things go wrong. Constructive approaches for leaders. Transparent leaders explain the why behind policies, seek input from all levels, and consistently clarify both expectations and limitations in roles, encouraging participation in root cause analysis rather than blaming individuals, improves both incident resolution and future outcomes, creating systems that formally recognize when staff step up beyond their job scope, encourages initiative and supports organizational improvement. In workplaces where these double standards persist, both daily operations and critical events suffer as trust and effective communication break down, creating consistent structures for accountability and participation rather than using staff as
to this, how can this possibly, or how does it is? It's similar or totally different than the recent gathering of the military generals, all stars from all over the world to get a discipline, seemed like disciplined speech. Speech about the military being overweight and still in the military now. As a retired military spouse, this was concerning to me to watch, as it felt like something similar. And what would this type of scenery and gathering be called by behavioral experts, scientists, researchers? As you know, high-ranking officers sitting there to be disciplined in that manner and talked to in that manner, when this has been an ongoing problem of weight restrictions and weight requirements for years and years and years, and to be addressed in that manner in front of the whole world, showing that something needs to happen right now instead of creative ways for everyone's input and not just a control and manipulative discipline. I'm going to discipline you. If you don't discipline your troops, if you don't discipline your staff, and the policies and procedures that are in place, whether people are being taped or, after they pass the PT test, but then they have to be measured with the neck and the stomach, things of that nature, rather than saying women should not be in, even though they're some of the most strongest women I have met as high-ranking officers in the military. I work side by side in the army hospitals and just as good as men. So it's another thing where we see black people, we see white people, we don't see different people within each group. We see men, we see women. We don't see different women. We don't see different men. We see the light of day, we see the light of night. We don't see the difference in the day or the difference in the night. There are differences within everybody, and with this, I'm just thinking, like how even with this and bringing this together, it's like personities. Everyone has various different personalities. Everyone has various different backgrounds. Everyone has various different behaviors. Everybody is not the same, but then how do you deal with that? It's hard, right? Yes, you want to try to get everybody on board and you want to hand out your qualifications. I do think with this one, it comes with favoritism, double standard, and not there. We go again, like in the book of Gavin de Becker. You do.
This is continuing on from the last segment. Again, like in the book of Gavin de Becker, you don't hold everyone accountable regardless if you're sleeping with them on the side, regardless if some of your family members, regardless if there's some type of favor you like some better than others, because I guarantee you if it's someone that you don't like in your particular group that are doing bad and need to be held accountable, you find a way to stay on them until you get rid of them. But if it's somebody that you have an intimacy with, if it's somebody that's a family member of yours, if it's someone that is the same color of you, or if they look like you, walk like you, talk like you, act like you, think like you, believe like you are not going to hold them accountable the way you would hold someone else accountable. So that's how it makes it even bigger problem. That many people out of shape that remain in the military, because you're not holding the same standards for everyone across the board. It's a double standard. It's if you don't like women, if you like women, if you don't like men, if you do like men, if you don't like black people, if you do like black people, if you don't like white people, if you do like white people.
Public disciplinary gatherings, especially those involving high-ranking leaders being admonished for systemic issues like military weight standards, are often referred to by behavioral experts as examples of public shaming, ritualized accountability, or collective reprimand. These events are intended to display leadership control, but commonly reveal deeper problems: unequal enforcement, favoritism, cultural bias, and unresolved double standards. Paralleling the workplace contradictions you described earlier, similarities to workplace contradictions. Both scenarios exhibit top-down enforcement, where individuals are publicly pressured to take responsibility for long-standing organizational issues, even if those problems stem from systemic neglect or inconsistent policy enforcement. Just as frontline workers in civilian settings can be singled out or scapegoated in moments of crisis while being ignored during daily operations, military officers are sometimes collectively chastised in ways that gloss over structural or cultural barriers. Both situations expose favoritism and double standards. Leaders may be more lenient with those closer to them in background, status, or social ties, and more punitive with outsiders or the less favored. Behavioral science in expert terms. Public shaming. Behavioral scientists identify gatherings where people are admonished in front of peers as a form of collective accountability or public shaming meant to enforce conformity, but often resulting in resentment or humiliation rather than lasting change. Moral licensing or virtue signaling. Leadership may use these events to project strength and seriousness to the public, but avoid meaningful reform, falling into outward displays without inward change. In-group bias. Research shows that leaders often unconsciously protect those similar to themselves, whether by race, gender, personal affinity, or shared history, resulting in double standards and uneven accountability.
Continuing from the previous segment, diversity, equity, and the limits of scapegoating, the reduction of individuals to broad categories, man, black, white, erases the meaningful differences and unique strengths within each group, perpetuating bias and complicating fair enforcement. Experts on group behavior emphasize that collective discipline without individualized investigation or dialogue ignores root causes and discourages innovation or honest feedback. Fitness standards in the military, like many workplace rules, are often enforced unevenly, with protected favorites allowed to skirt rules while others face harsh consequences, reinforcing a culture of mistrust. Constructive alterables. Effective change comes from transparent, individualized assessments, clear standards applied fairly to all, and authentic engagement with diverse perspectives. Behavioral research supports collaborative discussion, root cause analysis, and culturally competent standards enforcement over public spectacle or ritualized blame. Both military and civilian organizations falter when accountability is applied selectively or for show, rather than as a continuous, honest, and inclusive process. Consistency and fairness, guided by understanding the rich differences among people, are essential for true discipline and improvement.